Hello everyone, welcome back to the Blue Podcast Network. This is the Red Show and we're going to be taking you through the top 10 attacking midfielders in the Premier League. Who wants to start with their number 10?
Right. Do you want to introduce us or no?
No, I don't care who you are.
Should we do honourable mentions?
Yeah. This is Henry, you know him. In fact, actually, yeah, this is Ronnie. He's new.
Yeah, this is Ronnie's first show.
He's new.
Guess up.
This is why I host usually.
I completely forgot what I was saying, to be fair. Your weird goalkeeping story threw me off.
It's not weird. I'm becoming a goalkeeper.
Who wants to start with their number 10?
Right.
Yes, I do actually.
You do you? Okay, go ahead.
Do you know why I do?
Why?
Do you know why I do? Because my number 10 is Kevin De Bruyne. He has done absolutely jack this season. He doesn't deserve to be more any higher.
This season.
He's done jack. City are falling off a cliff.
It's not just based off this season, though. Like, I know
he's rode the bench all year.
Even this season, he's got an assist every other game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's barely played.
He's played 13 games, he's got 6 assists.
But
His 30 games is nothing, let's be honest.
He's still high up, but you can't have Kevin De Bruyne like that low.
I can.
I
can and I have.
That's retirement.
He's arguably the best midfielder in Premier League history.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. Well, no, he's not, but I don't doubt that he's up there.
Yeah, you can't.
Give me him 3 years ago, and he's probably number one. But right now,
probably.
Currently, you can name 9 better attacking midfielders. 9.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, who have you two got?
I've got my Liverpool boy, Dominic Szoboszlai.
Really?
He didn't get in mine.
He is miles above there.
I've got him in 10th, and the reason I've got him in 10th is because his goals and assist numbers aren't
That's
good
why
enough.
he's not in mine.
They're like off the ball work. He is probably the best on the list.
No,
Like,
I think there's a lot of.
I've changed where I put him now because I thought I had him. I wanted to put him near this low.
Yeah.
But I thought I was going to get slated for that. I didn't realise that was popular.
He has been the main creative output in a team that is going to a comfortable Premier League
He's
trophy.
not the main creative
He's not the
output.
main creative output.
No, he is. He's the main creative output.
No,
and he's
Luce
getting
creates
those.
more. Trent creates
I
more.
think he's one of the
Salah
least
creates more.
important cogs in that
Well,
Liverpool team.
I'm going to now put him
I
10th as
disagree
well.
with that.
I think he's one of the least.
He's 10th
Yeah,
as well,
but you'd miss Van Dijk more. You'd miss Alisson more. You'd miss Trent more.
Salah.
You'd
Doesn't
miss
mean
Salah
he's
more.
not.
You'd miss Diaz more.
Right, but we've seen the drop off when Szoboszlai's not been in the team.
Exactly.
McAllister.
Yeah.
But I think it's surprising that you put him this low as a Liverpool fan, which is
I
kind of
am,
telling.
yeah.
He's not on my list.
But the thing is, it's just because it's not.
He's
because
quite high on
bad.
my
He's
list.
not on my list.
It's because there's so many better players. Like there's so many good midfielders.
It's just
midfielders.
It's the numbers. Like 5 goals, 3 assists. I think it is in the league this season. I think he got 7 last. Like maybe not even that.
It's not
I know.
all
I think it was
about numbers,
5.
though.
I think it was 5 last season. And I know football's not all about goals and assists, which is why he's in the top 10, which is why I've missed out 1 or 2 other players. But I want my attacking midfielder to be getting 15 goal contributions a season. He needs to up his numbers.
I think Szoboszlai,
it's brilliant.
What he's good with as well is that he's always available.
Yeah.
And a lot of these on this list get injured quite a lot.
Yeah.
I
It's a
think.
good point, actually. It's a good point.
No.
I think that's a big thing.
Yeah. Well,
Especially De
apart from
Bruyne at 10th as well. That makes it. I'd say that it's not. You can argue him 10th because he isn't available every season.
He isn't available, and he is fading off. This is his last year.
Yeah.
This is his drop off year, and it's fine to say that. Like you can be one of the greatest midfielders we've seen, and the greatest midfielder in the Premier League for the last few years, 100%. But you get to the point where you do age out and you drop off, and he's not their starting midfielder anymore.
That's
He isn't.
controversial.
I think when he's available, he is.
Yeah, that's.
But he isn't
controversial.
though. Because
No,
they play Bernardo Silva over him, they play Marmoush
No, I
over
don't
him,
think
and
they
they play
do.
Foden
Marmoush
over
they
him.
don't. They don't play Marmoush over him.
All the
They
City
do.
fans are criticising Pep for that. They're saying he should be starting because when he
Yeah,
starts,
but
he does really well.
But he hasn't been starting. That's my point.
Yeah, I know,
he
I
started.
agree with that.
He started the last game, and he will start to the end of the season because now they know this is the last they're going to see of him. So it'll be his farewell tour. But that he's not played this season. When he has played, he's played okay, but not fantastic. He's not got enough goal involvement. It's the same reason you said about Szoboszlai not getting in. It's the same reason why he's quite low. Although I don't think Szoboszlai should be that low, but we'll come back to
Yeah,
that.
I think.
Yeah. So should we move on to 9th then?
Yes.
I didn't even say my 10th.
No, you've not said your 10th, have you?
not. Oh, no, you've
I
not,
thought it
have
was.
you?
I thought it was Szoboszlai. Oh wait,
No,
no,
he's not in my list.
Oh
Who was your
damn!
10th?
My 10th is James Madison.
10th.
He's
Oh,
10th.
see, I got him higher.
I've got him higher.
I love
Interesting.
James Madison.
He had a
I
shit
must have some
start.
outrageous
But no,
shots.
but think-
His goal contributions is really strong.
Is he not
but
one
that's
of your
because
best players? I thought
No,
I've seen
no.
Spurs fans saying he's one of your
No.
best this season.
Interesting.
He got
I really
dropped
like
at the
James
start of the
Maddison.
year.
I really like James Madison. He was originally 8th or 7th on my list, but he's slowly. There's another one on here as well that slowly dropped down. Madison kept slowly dropping down. Even though he's got as many goal contributors as he has, it's because the quality of chances he gives, they just give goals.
Yeah.
Then there's players like, we'll come on to in a minute, about another Spurs attacking midfielder.
You got 2 in
He's-
it. Is there 2?
Okay, maybe it wasn't on the list, but he's on my list.
Right.
We'll get to that.
Interesting.
We'll get to that.
Oh, you dodgy
That's not dodgy. He's an attacking midfielder. Oh, right, get to the next one.
I give
hang
you
on.
central midfielder. I give you winger. I don't know if I give you attacking midfielder.
No,
He's not an attacking midfielder.
He played centre
I'm a
mid.
Spurs fan.
He played as 8.
know.
He played at 8, and then he's played on the wing. He's not played 10. I've not seen him
He
play
has
10.
played 10 to be
Well,
fair.
it
but
depends
he's
who
not
we're
a 10.
talking
He's played 10 all
He's
the
a
season.
right
winger.
winger. He is a right winger though.
No, he's not a right. Well, okay.
When he's played
you can
in
say
the
he's a right
midfield,
winger, that's
he's played
fine.
as a-
But
as a-
his most
as a midfield
effective
3.
position is 10. 100%.
Interesting.
When he's
One-
played in the
100%.
midfield, he's played in the midfield 3.
With Madison.
They all do. So does Maddison, but he's a 10.
Madison has a lot of minutes as a 10.
Madison is a 10.
Madison is a 10.
Madison-
No,
is
but
a
he
10.
plays in the midfield 3.
Yeah, he
I
does.
agree that
That's
he's
the
a
thing,
10.
Guys.
Madison-
We're
Same
going to
as
come back
Solskjaer,
onto
He plays in
this.
the midfield
I've-
3,
I've-
but he's a 10.
Well, he plays.
It's the same argument.
He's further
I'll tell you what,
forward.
though.
I've watched a lot of Madison, obviously, as a Leicester fan. He's that player.
No, but it's different for Leicester because he was a 10.
But he will drop. No, but he drops back and he'll help defend. But then he'll also always be there in the attack when you need him.
He operates in central areas. The guy you're going to come on and talk about tends to start in midfield
Should we
areas
move
and
on
then
to
drift
ninth?
wide.
Is he your
Yeah,
ninth then?
Let's move on.
No.
Oh, right,
We'll
okay.
get into him later.
If he's in
who's
your
ninth
top
then?
3, I swear
Who's
to God.
ninth then?
Ninth. Hang on, I need to check.
If
You
got
need to
ninth.
check.
I've got a ninth. Do you want me to get started
Yes,
again?
get started.
It's Martin Odegaard.
Wow.
Which I know is because he started a lot higher than this and he dropped down.
Martin Odegaard, 9.
Because if you look at his actual
I
numbers,
thought mine was harsh.
no, but
Oh my God.
if you look at if you're saying what you said about Soboslai earlier,
Right.
I think you have to say the exact same thing about
No,
Martin
but the thing
Odegaard.
is, last season Odegaard was unreal.
I'll be honest.
He was
I've moved him.
he was a player that Arsenal relied on.
I
I've
also
moved him
don't
up.
think he's the player they rely on anymore. I think
No,
it's,
I agree with that though. I do
it's,
agree with
it's,
that.
it's moved to Declan Rice
Although
mostly.
what I would
I
say
think-
is we got Lenny behind the camera. He's always said to me about Odegaard. He says when Odegaard's playing at his best, Arsenal play at their best.
I
But
disagree with that.
I don't have him much. I don't have him much higher, but I had him lower because I just think this season, since his injury, when he's come back, can you name any real thing he's done? Like if you look at what he's done since his injury, he's not been good. He's higher for me, but not much higher. Because I
Right.
don't think you can't put him above some
I
of these
think
people.
ninth's too low. I can't lie.
It is too low.
It is too low,
definitely too low,
but you
100%.
reminded me of a couple of performances that I'd forgotten about, and I was like, okay, he's got to drop a couple of positions. Lenny's gonna be death stairs behind the
Yeah, but you
behind
said a
the
couple of
audio.
performances, not like
Who have you
20
got
other good
ninth
ones.
then? Who have you got ninth?
I have Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh,
Thank you. Yeah.
Because I think one of the most underrated stats in football now
Please
is...
tell me you've got him high up. 'cause
Yes.
I've got him
No,
high
no,
up.
Yes,
no.
I
Hear me
do,
out, hear me
yeah.
out, hear me out. Because I think the most underrated stat now in football is availability. And I think with Kevin De Bruyne, you don't get that anymore.
No.
If you're asking me for attacking midfielders and saying, who do I want for this season, it can't be De Bruyne because you can only get 20 games out of him.
But
Yeah.
either way, he plays for Man City. He's not going to play every game because they rotate so much.
No, but in that team with so much rotation, when he was
But-
at his best, always available, he never got dropped.
I was going to say he never in his prime he was never on the bench,
He was
and
undroppable.
now it's Phil Foden, and Phil Foden's playing every game and it's shit. So why I think they should play him more, and I think he'd rise higher on the list. But you say if you're not
I
playing,
can't
it
believe
can't be
you got him
high.
that low. I mean, I know he's not.
I
been
didn't
as
realise
good
I had
this
him 9th. I
season.
thought he was
Yeah.
higher.
I know that he's not been good this season, but it's still.
Can I-
Boy,
can I
look at some of the passes he's made this season. There's still some ridiculous passes.
Hang on, can
there.
I just double check something with you lot?
right.
I know he wasn't on our list of candidates, but he is a 10. Please tell me that none of you have got the bald fraud on this list.
Bald fraud?
Who?
The bald fraud.
What?
The City bald fraud. Well,
Pep.
follically challenged fraud. No, not man. Attacking
Are you
midfielders.
Yeah, but I don't know who you're on
Phil
about.
I'm talking about Phil
He's a
Foden.
right, wait, no, he's not on this list. He's a
Thank
right
No,
winger.
he's not on
fuck.
the
Okay,
list.
good. Yeah, thank you.
I've
I was talking about Phil Foden. I'm so confused.
ninth-
I
Bald.
call him the bald fraud.
In
Yeah.
ninth, I've got what I think could be a slightly controversial one. I've gone with Justin Kluivert.
Right, I've got
He's
the same.
been. Oh,
He
you
just
have right,
missed out
good.
on mine.
Same.
Thank God.
He's not in the
been.
10.
He just missed out.
Wow.
He was 11th. He
he's
literally was
been-
11th.
He's been ridiculous this season. But again, it goes back to the point. There's just so many good attacking midfielders. But
Yeah.
for Bournemouth, he's been so good. I mean, look at was it the hat trick at Newcastle he scored?
Penalties.
I mean, yeah, but he's played very well this season.
He scored
He's been good.
he scored another hat trick, which weren't penalties.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that one was good. The bang at the
I thought
two
the
bangers in that
wait,
game.
Was it
that
not
was
Wolves
good.
away? Was the
Wolves was the
penalty?
But that's also one game.
Wolves away was.
A
But he
lot of
scored
his-
2 hat tricks in the season, which when was the last time
Yeah,
you saw a
come
player
on.
who scored 2 hat tricks in the season?
Yeah,
and
sure.
as
Apart
a
from
10,
Erling
as a
Haaland.
10 as well. As a 10, scoring 2 hat tricks is
Yeah.
very impressive.
No, it's difficult, isn't
It
it?
kind of came out of nowhere, but like, I think it's a testament to how good a manager Iraola is that he's been able to get
They're
this
starting
output
to fall
out
off slightly, though, aren't they?
They are.
Slightly.
a little bit.
It's
But,
starting to fade.
Well, yeah.
but
I
it's the end
thought
of the
they were
season
gonna
now.
kick
They
on.
can't do any better, so it's kind of like
They
just
can
like,
challenge for Europe.
Can
I mean,
they?
they can't. They
Yeah,
could have,
they're-
but they've dropped off.
I mean, they're not massively far off. I think it's still only like 6 points.
And if
so-
they hadn't dropped off, they'd be closer.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I remember thinking they were going to get in those Champions League spots with the form that they were on. You know, yeah, I did because
Yeah,
they played,
no, but that
they
wasn't
played
bad
some
at the
they
time.
played some wonderful football and they beat Forest 5-0 and Newcastle 4-1 away from home when I was making that prediction.
But that's I think Kluivert has to be in the list for me purely because he's got 2 hat-tricks this season. I know one of them was penalties, but the other one was very impressive. He scored some very good goals, and Bournemouth were having the season of their life when he was on form. So I just think he has to be in that list for me. He's been very good.
I think the reason why I've not put him in or higher is because the rest of the names I've got in here, the teams rely on those players. I don't think they rely on Kluivert.
Right.
That's why I'll
Yeah.
put it
Shall we
in.
move to 8th then?
Yeah, because at 8,
Right,
I've
what?
got a player who is relied upon quite heavily.
Right.
In fact, he is the only output of creativity in that attack, and it's Crystal Palace's Eberechi Eze.
Right,
That's
okay.
quite low.
It
I mean,
started-
it's not too low,
this is
but-
not
Started
good for me.
off the season quite poorly, but I think the entirety of that Palace team did. They
Yeah.
really
Yeah, well,
missed
they were 20th.
Elise.
They were 20th.
Exactly. And if you look at the numbers, they are the 14th best team in the league for attack. They're actually top 5 for defence. So solid defensively, but really lacking that Elise shaped hole. But if you look at, he's their top assister and their best rated player. And if you look at Palace's big chances missed, they're 7th. So he's clearly putting them on a plate for these
Well,
players.
Also,
he's a great
but they're
player.
not burying
If you
them.
look at that Fulham FA Cup game, for example, that goal he scored, I mean, he's just capable of doing things like that.
Yeah.
Eze is a great player. I mean, he's not much higher for me. He's higher for me, but not much higher. But
Right.
I think this is fair to put him 8th because there are so many good players. And
Yeah.
I think all of these ones around here, you can kind of...
Yeah.
The
kind of move
mid-table
around.
players, I was like switching around quite a
But
lot.
Yeah.
8th is where I've got James Maddison. I wanted to put him higher. I love James Maddison. I mean, I think as well set pieces for me. He can score amazing free kicks, and he's just such a great passer with the ball. He carries the ball really well, and he's taken what he did with us and moved it on to Spurs really well. I think. As I said, I think he's been one of your best players this season. Maybe not the best, but he's definitely up there.
I think I
when
could
he's
name
played.
at least 5 that have been better than Maddison.
I think-
and
This
also
is the
he's not
interesting thing,
played.
isn't it? Because Andrew's rotated him a lot, and I've
That's
never,
what I mean.
I've never understood this
He should be
personally.
starting.
No,
Because
because
he should
they
be
need to
starting.
manage his minutes though. Because
Yeah.
every other season he can't sustain how he's played. You see the start of last season, he was getting player of the month, things like that. He fell off because he got injured immediately
I mean-
after constantly playing. So he's realised now, all right, I can't play him every game, can't play him every minute. So he's not doing that now, and I think he's managed his minutes pretty well.
I said that.
I
I
just-
said
I
that to a
think-
Spurs fan when he joined you. I said he will not. He will play unbelievably at the start of the season. He'll get injured and then he'll come back and be mid. He does
I
do
mean, if
that.
he- yeah,
I
I mean,
will
if-
be honest, he does. But this
Yeah.
season he has maintained it. To be fair, so maybe that is why.
Yeah, I think he's managing the minutes from.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I can say. Andrew's done well so far with what he's got because injury-wise, we've been absolutely torn apart. But
He started the season not doing very well, and it probably he got dropped for a fair bit. But the way I think through the season he's only got better, and he's just kept improving, and he became a crucial part of that team again by the middle of the season.
I think he got given a chance with Kulusevski getting injured as well.
Yeah.
I
oh
think
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
happened.
But he took advantage of that and,
Who have
and
you
put
two
in
got
great
next
performances.
I've got Eze in 8th as well. My list is getting similar to yours. And I don't like it.
Okay.
8th?
I've got James
You
Maddison.
should love it.
You got
I'm a
Madison.
great barometer
Yeah.
of success.
Is that 3 that me and you have agreed on
Well,
now?
yeah. What was it? You had Clive at 9th as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've pretty much got the same list at
Yeah.
the moment.
For God's sake, you can't just copy each other's lists. Come on.
Me and Lloyd have not spoken before the show about these
No,
players.
no, not
He's the
at
one I've
all.
spoken to least about the list.
Yeah.
But,
Jesus
but no,
Christ.
I think. Yeah, it makes sense there. He has to be in the list. He's a great player.
Yeah, I mean
He
it's
can't go
interesting.
much higher.
Yeah, I mean it's
Who's that
interesting
for
that you,
Madison?
that you
Yeah,
talk
he's
about
gotta be high for me.
Madison's minutes being managed as a sort of a positive sort of thing because
Yeah.
for me looking outside in, not being a Spurs fan, I would want him to be one of the first players on the team sheet
Exactly.
week in week
Yeah.
out.
And the fact he
I
doesn't
think,
get
I think
injured.
we're
He's
very
got lots
lucky
of
that we've got
quality.
someone like Kulusevski in our team now because Maddison was that lone cam last season, and after that Chelsea game, we really struggled to fill that hole a lot.
Yeah,
Really struggled.
Right,
no,
well,
for sure.
Well, we'll see how Iriola takes care of him next season. 'Cause
Oh,
He's
you-
not coming, by the way.
No,
He's not
no,
coming. He's
he
going
ain't-
to
he ain't going to Tottenham.
Well, in 7th, I've got the one you had in 8th. I've got Eze in 7th.
Okay.
I think I can't put him much higher than this. When you look at the players above, they're just a cut above.
yeah.
But he wouldn't look out of place in a very high up team in the
No.
league. He's a very good player. He carries the ball well. He's dangerous. He's got the skills. He's got the footwork.
Yeah.
He's a very complete player for me.
100%.
I've got him 7th.
I've got a player you've already mentioned as well, and that's Justin Kluivert. I think
Okay.
top goal scorer, top assister in a team of Bournemouth who are into the top 10 for attacking teams in the league. It's just ridiculous, and it's come out of nowhere. the way that Iriolo has been able to get the best out of this player, who, let's be honest, has failed at every club he's been at when he left Ajax. Ever since he's left Ajax, he's kind of failed a bit. But he's picked up really good form this season. If I'm honest, I think it might be a one-season thing.
Do you think?
I'm not.
I agree with this.
I'm being brutal here. Mainly because I think that Iriolo is going to go next season, but also because I think he's overperforming XG, XA massively. I think it is not likely to be repeatable. It could happen, but who knows? Right. But this season, one of the best attacking midfielders in the league, only bettered by the elites, in my opinion, and one other guy.
Who have you two got 7th then?
Well, 7th for me, I've got Morgan Gibbs-White.
I don't think that's controversial.
Okay, let's move on.
I
No, that is incredibly
I got told by
controversial.
someone to put him 1.
Really?
Yes. Kian was that.
I think he's been
What?
very
There's
good.
2 of them.
Someone told me to put him 1,
No, see,
and I thought that was crazy.
The thing with him
That's crazy, but that's also crazy.
No,
think
what
that's
I'd
crazy?
say,
Yeah,
what
I
I'd
think
say
it's
is, I have got him higher because I don't want to look too controversial, but I don't think he's as good as Forest fans rate him. I think he's a good player, but is he really like top 4 in the league? Like, I think
he's a class player.
If Kian was here, he'd probably put him 3rd or 4th. I reckon. I don't think he's that high.
No.
At all.
I think the interest that City have shown now is testament to how good of a season he's had. I think he's evolved from being a 10 to now dropping back as an 8, and I think he's got so much better. I think he's improved so much when he's talking about the off the ball at Szoboszlai. I think Morgan Gibbs-White's got that as well, and he's been able to drop back, and he's actually been putting in a lot of the dirty work, and I think that's what he's improved on massively this season, and he's put them out of a lot of troubles, and I'd say his long passing's a joke as well. No one talks about that. I think his long passing to go to with their counter-attacking style as well, putting into Elanga and Hudson-Odoi, I think it's underrated.
I think
if he's the kind of player who, if he went to a bigger side, he would completely struggle. He'd be out of place. I think
so.
he would. I think if he does go to Man City, and they're expecting him to try and fill the shoes of Kevin De Bruyne,
No, I don't think they're doing that though.
Near.
I think he fits perfectly in that Gundogan position that they had him in, not in the second spell, but when he was good in that progressive 8 role. I think he works there really well.
I think people are also underestimating how good his defensive numbers are as well.
They're very good.
He, as a 10, he is the best defensive 10 in the league, which I don't think is controversial. If you look at the numbers, he is in the top percentile in all defensive metrics for attacking midfielders. Obviously, you've got way better defensive midfielders who are good at defending. Yeah. But when it comes to, if you want a team to be solid and difficult to break down, and you want to win the ball high up the pitch to create chances, he's your guy. And that is why he's their best assister as well, because he can win the ball in those attacking positions. And then you've got the likes of Elanga and Hudson-Odoi to run onto them. And also, Nottingham Forest have been in the top 4 all season and are challenging for Champions League. All their players deserve to be high on these lists. Let's be honest. Very few of them deserve to be low.
Yeah. I do agree with most of
it. Your point there.
We'll come back onto him later because I have got him quite a lot
Who
higher.
have you got in 7th? Because you haven't said yours yet.
This one I didn't really consider. I didn't think it was a cam at first, but I've put Matheus Cunha.
7th.
What? Fuck off.
He was a very late addition.
Fuck off.
Very late addition.
Absolutely
I'm
ridiculous.
happy to be told I'm wrong here. I'm happy to.
Yeah.
When he's banging for Man United next season.
He should be much higher because the thing is with him is there's a reason that all the big clubs have had interest in him.
But they're not going to sign him.
No, but I also think...
And there's a reason they don't sign him.
I also think...
Because his release clause is ridiculous.
Yeah, I
think his mentality is ridiculous.
If he hadn't been playing for Wolves, they would be absolutely nowhere near as clear as they are now. They'd still stay up purely because the other sides are so rubbish.
No, I think they get relegated with that Cunha.
No,
100%.
No chance. Have you looked at how bad these? As someone who supports,
have you looked at how impactful Cunha's been?
Have you
I've put him 7th as well. Why am I arguing?
Exactly.
Have you looked at how bad Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton are? They are miles worse than Wolves.
Yeah, but how much worse are Wolves going to be without Cunha?
Without Cunha,
they've
much
been without him for the last 3 games. They've been without him for the last 3 games.
Yeah, 3 games of like 30-odd games in a season.
They've won all 3.
how many points that man has won them?
I'm not denying that because I think he's a very good player.
Yeah.
They don't get relegated without him, but it's a lot closer.
Yeah,
they'd only finish 5 or 6 points above rather than the 15 or so they're going to finish.
They're not going to finish 15 points above Ipswich, no.
They will.
They won't.
Most likely will at this rate, the way it's going.
It won't be 15, 16 points. It will be 3 to 6 and Ipswich will still go down.
Right.
But what I'm saying is without Cunha, Wolves go down.
No, they don't.
100%.
But yeah,
absolutely no chance.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I just run through their squad then? If you really think that, Because I just think that's absolutely outrageous that people actually think Wolves will go down without Cunha.
Have you seen how shit they've been this season?
Their starting squad, Jose Sarr, he's not
Not great.
He's
No.
not great. Agbadu's better than any of the centre backs in the lower clubs. So's
Not in the, what, or in all the lower clubs.
Who is?
in all the
Who's
relegated clubs.
Agbadu?
Yeah. So's Totti Gomez probably.
Yeah.
He's
Sorry,
okay.
Gomez.
Semenya and Ait Nouri.
No.
Better
Yeah.
wing
Ait
back.
Nouri, yeah.
Nori's not terrible.
Andre and
Ait Nouri's
Gomez.
good back.
That's
Yeah,
that's
they're
a
solid.
ridiculous midfield.
Andre solid.
Bellegarde
Andre
and Minetzi. I don't know Minetzi that well, but Bellegarde's very, very good. And Strand
Bellegarde's
Larsen's
a
a
bit
great
cool.
striker
No, he isn't.
anyway.
Strand Larsen
He's done
squad
jack
is
shit.
miles clear of Ipswich, who are the closest to staying up.
What are you on about,
Miles
Strand Larsen?
clear.
He's been great for Wolves this season.
Nah,
He's been really
seriously.
solid for them. He's got
Purple
a lot
patch.
of goals. No, I'm
Such
not
a
having
purple
it.
patch.
No,
No,
you know.
I'm terrible.
Even before, like, he was out the team for a little while during that January period, but I think up until then he had about 6-7 goals in the league.
That
And now I
Wolves-
think he might
that
have almost
Wolves
hit double
squad
that
Yeah,
Wolves
yeah,
team
anything.
is falling apart. Like if you lot were able to go down, they're going down.
There is a
next 2
reason that
years.
they've won their last 3 games without him because I don't know if it's 3 or 2, but yeah, 3. They've beaten Southampton, Wolves, and Ipswich.
Southampton, Ipswich.
But they were behind in the Ipswich game and they came without him, and that's at home. So Ipswich have
Yeah.
been decent at home.
Yeah, and
They
we're
drew
talking
to
about...
they drew to
yeah.
Everton as well.
We've
They
not
drew
been
to
great
Bournemouth.
either, but fucking.
I know he played in the Bournemouth game, I think, but they
Let's move
they
on.
drew
We
it.
can debate how
I know,
shit
but
Wolves are next
They
season.
would have
Next
stayed up
season.
either way.
Yeah.
Who's 6th for you guys?
I have Dejan Kulusevski.
Do you?
He's
Sick.
I don't know what. He's a cam. I don't know
Right,
why.
well, you can,
He is not a
you
cam.
can bring that up with Kian if you want.
I'm the Spurs fan. He's a cam.
Let me have a look. I'll have a look.
I don't think
He
he's
will be
better
on the
than some
right
of
winger
these
list because
players.
then otherwise who's your right winger?
Our right winger. It's been Johnson. It's been. It's not been. Odegaard was at the start, and he has been towards the end now. I'm missing someone. I'm definitely missing someone.
So-
It's not Kulusevski.
So who have you had over... So you've had Kulusevski over what players on the list?
Mateus Cunha.
I'm happy to say that's wrong. I'm happy to say that's wrong. But he's better than James
Ridiculous.
Madison, and he is better than Cliver. He's better than
Interesting.
100%.
I don't agree with that.
He offers something different to what they all do. He's more of a ball carrier than the rest of them. He has the most...
Primary position is right wing, but he can play attacking.
As an attacking midfielder, compared to all the others, he has way more progressive carries than any of them. I think the only one that competes with him is someone who's really high on this list. With that, I won't say yet.
Right.
But
Yeah.
creatively, he's been
Shit.
great. He should have had more assists than he has had this season because how poor the finishing has been. Don't get me started about him in song because I'll go on a 10-minute rant about him.
Right.
But he has set up so many chances that have just not been put away. If they were put away, he'd been put in a much higher regard.
Right.
Much higher.
I also
Yeah,
thought
just-
Taylor
I
would be a lot
don't
better
know. I
than he
don't
was.
rate him
but-
higher than
Who
James
have
Madison
you got in
personally,
6th
but
then?
I've got another Tottenham player. I've got James Madison in 6th.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't think that's too high to put him either. I think that's just fine. We've spoken
Yeah.
about him a lot.
Yeah, we won't go back over him.
I've got Gibbs White in 6th. I don't think he gets above the other 5 players in the list
Right.
because as I said, I don't see him as the level of your Fernandez's, your Palmers, your Cunhas. I just think he's not that level.
No.
He's a very high level. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And he'd walk into a lot of teams in the Prem, but he's not as high as some Forest fans make him out to
I've just
be.
seen you as number 1 on your list. I want to throw up. So yeah, no, I agree. I put him in 5th, so he's just a spot above where you put him.
Let's Lloyd 6th first.
I've
Yeah.
gone for Eze.
So me and you just swapped on those
I
ones.
massively rate Eze. I think he's creatively is superb. Don't get me wrong, goals needs to go up.
Yeah.
Doesn't score enough goals, but creatively, I think he's brilliant. I do prefer him to Gibbs White, despite Gibbs White having more goals and assists. I just think Eze overall as a football player,
I prefer-
I prefer him.
I prefer to watch him over Gibbs White, and that's kind of the thing for me as well. Is Gibbs White for me is not. I know it doesn't matter if they're getting goals and assists, but he's not an
Yeah.
aesthetic player to me.
No.
Right.
Whereas Eze for me, he'll take on his man, he'll be exciting, he'll do the skills. But I know I put them the other way around, but I think that's because I think Gibbs White has probably had the better season by far.
Yeah. I think if you put another really exciting goal-scoring winger in that Palace team alongside Mateta and Eze, I think Eze's creative numbers pop.
Yeah.
And I think he could really feed someone who's great at running onto those balls.
Well,
If Marcus Rashford played on the right-hand side, it'd be perfect.
What
but
about
he's-
Ismail Assar?
Would
Well,
fit.
exactly. Yeah, they've got
He's
Sarr,
not-
who's done
he's-
really well this season.
He's not terrible, but I
He's
think you
turned
could
it
do a
on the
lot
second
better.
half.
He's done
He's got
really
better
well.
as the season's gone on. I'll
done
give
really
you
well.
that.
You said
but-
you said your 5th.
yeah, my 5th is Gone Morgan Gibbs White.
Yeah.
So
we
we'd
covered him, yeah.
have to go back over
So
that.
then my 5th, I've gone with Martin Odegaard.
Yeah, I've got Odegaard as well.
Other seasons,
I'm getting worried now.
other seasons he's a lot higher. But look at how he's been since he's come back from this injury this season.
Yeah, he's not.
As I said, Arsenal are better when he's playing well, but they are becoming less reliant on him
Yeah.
because they've got other players who are having to step up because he's not. And I don't know whether next season he'll recover, but the biggest thing I saw watching that game yesterday is Arsenal need to sign an attacking midfielder. That's what I see.
He's starting to hide from games, isn't he?
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
He needs some competition, some cover.
No, yeah, for sure. I think he probably was their worst player.
I'd
Against
actually
Real
look
Madrid
at
as well.
Brahim
I just
Diaz
think
out
he
of
was
Real
no
Madrid
fault.
actually because he's not getting the minutes and he's fucking great at attacking numbers.
I don't think you can rely on him to be a sole creator for a team, though.
No, but you wouldn't have to be. You'd have to rotate with Odegaard and give him competition.
Last night, for example, as we're recording this, was the Real Madrid game. Every time he got the ball, he just passed out to Saka and hoped he'd do something. And obviously, it's a good strategy for Arsenal. It does sometimes work, but I didn't see him offer much more than that. He doesn't shoot really that much. He doesn't. He's not made as many of those line-breaking passes that he always used to make that put him so high in this list. Because other years, he probably would be third or fourth, but I don't think he can now. But who have you got in fifth?
My fifth is Mikkel Damsgaard.
Oh, wow.
Who are you?
Thing is, I don't hate
None of
it.
you have Damsgaard on your list.
No, nowhere near.
No, he's not. No,
Wow.
He's
I disagree
improved.
with that because
Wow.
I looked at it and I wanted to try and fit him in because
I
I
know
do
he's had
think
a great season.
Mikkel
He's
Damsgaard
incredible
this
for
season
them.
has been absolutely insane.
He's been
been
great.
unbelievable.
But
Assist
nowhere near as good as
numbers,
the players on this
creative
list.
numbers, everything on his numbers on the list pops so
Wait,
much.
wait, hang on.
I'll
You've
give
got
I'll give you a
Mateus
stat as
Cunha.
well. I can give you a stat
You've
as
got
well.
Mateus Cunha
Like
below
I
him.
said, Cunha's a
I feel the headache coming on. Fuck.
Mikkel Damsgaard, compared to every other attacking midfielder we've mentioned, by the way, when he's on the pitch, Brentford's XG is up by 0.8. When he's off the pitch, down by 0.8. Every other player, the next closest is 0.3 up. Next closest. Do you know how much of a
Massively
different that is?
impressive.
That
I
is
can see that he's
huge.
vital,
I
but
don't
Brentford
think
haven't been
I
that
think
good
he's
this
top five
season.
attacking midfielder.
No, he's not top
No,
five.
that's
He,
that.
he definitely could have been in the top
He's
10. I consider
crazy
it.
good.
Yeah.
I think he's more impactful for that Brentford team than Mbeumo is. I think.
Yeah,
he is.
but I don't rate Mbeumo that much, if I'm being honest. But
Wow.
no, I really don't.
That's- Yeah, I don't agree with that either. But
But I also think this is a one-season thing as well with Damsgaard.
Because
But he
last
also
season
has
he went-
been
yeah.
a joke.
yeah, like,
I think he has the right to compete for that 10th spot. I do not think he deserves to be top 5.
no, I mean,
Even maybe
looking
ninth,
at the
I would
numbers,
say. Fair
yeah.
enough.
No, I'd compare him. Another player I nearly put in was Morgan Rogers. I'd compare them
Yeah,
two
same.
as two very similar players,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't put them. They couldn't get into this team. There's too many good players.
no.
Right, well, we're getting into the
Nitty-gritty.
the big decision now. Who have we all got in fourth?
Kevin De Bruyne.
Way too high.
Oh,
Kevin De Bruyne in fourth for me. I think he was unbelievable last season when he played. This year, there has been a drop-off. But considering how good he was the year before and the year before that, he's got to be high on my list. So for me, he is fourth.
I've got Mateus Cunha.
Right,
I
okay.
think the other three players in this list are a cut above him. And with De Bruyne, he's the best, probably one of the best passers this league's ever seen.
Yeah.
So I think based on that line,
Paul
because
Scholes.
when he plays, he still makes those passes, and it's just his minutes are being managed more. I know you can talk about availability, but I just think based on ability alone, because for me this list is a lot based on their ability, then he has to be high up.
Let's
high up.
come back to this conversation later.
He's a better player than Cunha. He's done more for City.
Of course, he's a
Then-
better player. That's
yeah.
not the argument, though.
Yeah, but we're talking about. I'm specifically talking about how they performed over the last two seasons. Like this
Yeah,
season,
but I'm looking even further back as
Cunha
well.
has been.
I don't.
Cunha's been better than De Bruyne this season, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a
but
doubt.
this De Bruyne's worst season, and he's still doing more than most players have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I see your point.
That's why
but
for me he's got to be high, because people are saying, "Oh, he's had an absolutely awful season." Yeah, he's still been incredible.
we've got to take this season into account. He's not been incredible. I'm not.
No.
I'm gonna get. The
So
numbers. I
you
might be
put
proving
De
wrong.
Bruyne on
I'll
fourth.
put De
We'll
Bruyne
come back
on
on this
fourth.
conversation later.
How about you two?
How about you? What's your 4?
My 4 is Morgan Gibbs-White.
Right. Okay.
I understand that. I think
Yeah,
it's a
I
little
don't
high
think
for
you
me,
can
but
hate it.
I
No.
can't hate it. No.
I think he's evolved so much as a footballer across this season. As like, he's been able to drop back, like I said earlier, and I think he's one of the most important players for Nottingham Forest this
Yeah,
season.
no,
and in a team that
completely agree.
overperformed that much, I can't not put him as high as I have.
Exactly. That makes total sense. I understand that one. That one makes logical sense. Some of the other ones, to review your
Right.
performance on this
So
one.
you said fourth. You haven't. Have
I
you?
haven't yet. No.
Who have you got fourth?
How am I the one who brings Dominic Soboslai to the table at 4?
Fourth.
How am I the one doing this? This is
Wow.
ridiculous. You are
crazy.
so much better than every team in the league, and he, whilst not be getting the flashy numbers, is one of your most important creators
but
in
he's
that
been very
midfield.
inconsistent at times
Yeah.
this season.
Who did you put below him?
Who have I put below him? Hang on.
You got a lot of good players below him.
I
Gibbs, White,
love
Maddison,
Soboslai.
Kluivert, Eze, Odegaard, De Bruyne.
I love him, but the numbers have got to be better.
It doesn't. They don't pop as nicely as like you don't get the goals and assists. It's not as flashy, but I think he's the most important cog in making that system work.
He's not. I don't think he's at all.
He's very important in terms of like Salah doesn't do a lot of tracking back at all anymore. He's practically running for two players. Like
Exactly,
that is
but
the work
that's
rate
exactly
that he
why
does.
we put Morgan Gibbs White as high as we have in each of
Yeah.
our lists.
No,
It's
I
the
get
exact
that.
same thing. And again,
But Morgan Gibbs White has attacking numbers as well as that to back it up. That's why I've got him so high.
Yeah, I don't think you can put him this high.
No.
I think it is a bit crazy.
I think you have to. I think again, you have to look at the teams that are performing well. If he was
But you can't just say, oh, the best players play for the best teams. End of. Like that's
not
how it
end
works.
of, but I think you have to take it into
That's
consideration.
why Cunha has to be so high, because it's even more impressive that he's doing it in a team that's was fighting relegation. They're not fighting.
Yeah.
He's just complete for me. Like, look at his metrics. He is in the top.
Except for the attacking numbers that he's missing.
His attacking numbers look great. Great passer of the ball, great long ball specialist, good crossing accuracy.
The actual assists and goals. I know it's not all football's about, but goals and assists.
He's
are
also
what matters.
underperforming XG and XA, by the way. So
Yeah, but
it's not just.
Underperforming, that's not a good thing.
Yeah,
No,
that's not good.
So he should be getting more. He's unlucky, so his numbers should be higher.
It doesn't necessarily
Yeah,
mean
but
And his
that means he's
actual
not putting
underlying
chances away.
stats.
yeah, he's not putting it away when he should be.
Well, not
But he's
expected
creating-
assists. If he's creating
yeah.
great high expected assists, someone else is
No, but
involved.
Yeah,
also-
that's the catalyst to that, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but
Exactly.
also,
That is the
also
different
the
one.
expected assist though, what you're missing is they take it as in like what the chance is with a shot. Say if you've put him in for a 1-on-1 and you've put it behind him, that's still going to count as the XG chance.
Yeah,
is,
but it will be a lower quality chance.
Because but you can also look at it with this expected assist as he's played a poor pass, so it's harder for him to finish a chance.
You don't. Yeah,
Yeah, but that would be a low quality XA, but he's got higher XA than actual assists gained. So he's created higher quality of chances that have actually been scored.
Yeah.
And also, if you look at his underlying numbers, his passing, his crossing, his deep progressions, they all look fantastic. He's got the underlying stats as a performer. It's working. It's just he's not got the goals and assists because Salah has. Salah has taken all the goals and assists this season.
Yeah, he's
he
been
is the main output.
Yeah.
But I reckon if you look at second assists, he would be much higher up there.
No, it's like I like Dominic Szoboszlai. If we were recording this probably after the Newcastle and Manchester City games where he got a goal and an assist against City and a goal against Newcastle, he'd probably be higher on my list. But as of right now,
Yeah.
No,
we're recording this just before Liverpool are taking on West Ham on Sunday. I want to see Harvey Elliott start, so I can't have him very high on the
But
list. I don't
that's
wanna see him start
exactly
in
what I'm
the
saying. Where he scored and got assists have been against Newcastle, Man City, Tottenham, Ipswich. Fair enough.
You have to do it against smaller
but then
teams as well,
Tottenham
though.
again. No, but what I'm saying is he turns up in the big occasions,
but
which
you can't-
actually
you
is a
can't
very
just do
valuable
that.
attribute and something that is key.
But you can also say that it's only happened this season because last season he was not any good.
So we're ranking him based on this season.
He wasn't bad. He wasn't bad last season. Don't be wrong. I expected a
Much
bit more.
better this season.
But
This
I don't know,
season
I
he
don't
has
think there's
been.
I don't think there's been a huge gap between. I think he started like a house on fire last season. He was unbelievable, and then as the season got on, he sort of declined. This year, it's been a bit more up and down. Like there's been moments where he's been really good, and
Yeah,
there's been other
I think
moments
so.
where he's been pretty poor.
I think, and bear with me, I'm a Man United fan. This is painful for me to say, but I think he's been a complete package who has gotten very unlucky not to get the plaudits that I think he deserves.
Right.
And he has been a vital component in a team which has gone to a Premier League title without much of a challenge at all. You've romped to that title quite comfortably. And I think he deserves that kind of respect this
No, I
season.
get
He's
it,
been
I
great.
get
And
it.
they've all
I
been
think-
great.
I mean, I'm glad you're giving him credit.
Yeah, I think it's good. But
I can't believe I am.
We need to move on, I think, because
Yes,
we're getting
agreed.
short of time. Who we got in third? I'm going to slightly change mine.
Right.
I've got Kevin De Bruyne.
Thank fuck for
I don't,
that.
Okay.
I don't think
Thank
I was
fuck
put
for
him
that.
higher.
You
but
had
I
him
think
first.
based
No,
on
be
this-
honest. Say it with chest. You
Yeah,
had him
I had him
first.
first because
Wow.
because he's the greatest midfielder of this generation of players. Like in the last 10, 15 years, he's probably the greatest
What?
midfielder in
What, in the
Premier
Yeah,
League.
but that
Premier
doesn't
League.
factor into it. It's like saying like Lampard when he's at City is still one of the best centre mids. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm not just basing it off this season. I'm looking at his other seasons as well.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
always do
it's-
this. I don't understand it.
Quality-wise, he is the best in the league. Quality-wise, he is.
But if we were
And that's
going off
undeniable.
past season, we'd be including Lampard's goals.
No, but I'm saying
David Beckham in
I'm
these
saying
lists.
he's still got the quality though.
Right.
But I'm putting him third because I
Okay.
don't think you can actually put him first
Right.
Thank God
because
for
of the
that.
season.
Yeah.
But I think he is one of the greatest Premier League players there's been.
One of.
One of the greatest there's
I'd
been.
put him in the all-time midfield. I would.
Yeah,
I would.
He's up there. He's
That's
up
what I
there.
mean.
I'd struggle
that's
to.
why he can't be
would.
10th and he can't be 9th.
He wouldn't be the first one on there, but I would.
Paul's goals would be
I
first.
think,
I think
third's
Gerrard's
as low
first,
as you can
but
put him,
that's
to be honest.
Yeah.
Love that from
You
you.
can't look past Gerard
I think-
Lampard's goals. That's what I'm saying.
No, but I think it's disrespectful though.
Different podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lampard's
exactly.
you'd have to drop
Yeah.
Lampard out for De Bruyne, which is a tough conversation
I
to have.
think it's disrespectful though to say that putting De Bruyne first is controversial. It's
It is
disrespectful to De Bruyne.
No,
because
not
he's
based on
such
the
a good
season.
player.
Yeah, based
He
on-
would
yeah, based on
admit
this
himself he's
season.
not had
It
the greatest
depends how you
season.
look at
No,
it.
but the numbers he's produced over the last 5 years or so.
No, for
Have been
sure.
Yeah, but some of these
fantastic,
players
yeah.
in the league
player
haven't
he
been
is,
in
the
the league for
ability
5
he
years.
has.
Yeah.
That was
It
5
can't
years
be
ago.
we can't be saying it's controversial.
It is controversial.
Yeah,
It's
but
very
also you're
controversial.
saying 5 years ago, half these players on the list haven't been in the Premier League. For
I mean,
5
some
years.
of them weren't even playing senior football.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's why I think he's impressive because he's been doing it for so long.
Right.
You don't know how long these players below him are going to do it for.
Who else for third? What are we saying?
I'm going to come on and talk about some players who kind of carrying their teams out in my top three.
Right.
All three of them, I think, have carried their teams. One of them's a bit, yeah. But third definitely isn't. It's Mateus Cunha.
Yeah.
For me, it's
Yeah.
been ridiculous. Probably the most outstanding, one of the top two most outstanding tens this season. It's not come out of nowhere, but he was always good for Wolves. But this season, he's the only bright spark in a dull team that is falling apart
I don't think it's that.
at the
at all.
season.
It's
Do you
not
remember
falling
do you
apart.
remember the times where they had Jota, Neto, Ruben
was so
Neves,
Jimenez.
on
Gian
form
Martino.
Connor Cody, like a Rui Patricio? That was an elite team that was challenging for Europe. This is a team that is in the
really
relegation
I'll
battle
give it to
every
you, they've
season.
fallen off. But you can't say that they're dull and boring.
They
because
are.
They still have other exciting players, and they were. I know because people have
Can't
said-
keep the manager.
People have used this example when they talked to me about Steve Cooper that they were 19th and they've now overtaken us. They were always going to do that. They were always going to finish above all the relegation teams. They were never going to be anywhere near because that squad is so much better.
It's not.
We won't get back into the argument.
It's not.
is
Who have
better.
you two got in third?
I've got Cunha as well.
Yeah,
I think he's been
I'm
sensational.
not saying mine now
Who have you got third?
because I'm a Spurs fan. That's put Martin Odegaard the highest.
Oh,
Oh, wow, top three.
But how do you think I fucking feel?
thing is, again, ability-wise, I don't.
No,
think
but that's
it's
what I
that
took
bad,
into account
but-
because it's not like strictly this season because Odegaard has been really good for 2 or 3 years, but he went from being their most important player to now starting to fade away in games.
Yeah.
Like they are way more reliant on Saka now.
Yeah,
Than
the
they are on
the
Odegaard.
conversation was, oh my god, Odegaard can't play, we're fucked. The conversation now is, okay, how do we make this work without Odegaard?
Yeah.
Okay, we could try this, we could do this, we could play Nueri in the midfield, you could
Yeah.
bring back Marino. Like there are viable options there that now could replace him and cover for him. And while actually a few years ago, he was their only, he was there every game without exception.
So where did you put De Bruyne?
I
Ian
had him ninth, yeah.
So you put Odegaard third.
You're
No,
gonna
De
say
Bruyne
you-
ninth,
No,
even
no,
though
no,
De
no,
Bruyne
no,
was
no.
unreal
Availability,
last
like I
season.
said, and I know Odegaard's been injured this season as well.
come
But he has
on.
lost a few yards of pace. now.
Okay.
Odegaard's
there
been
was a-
worse than De Bruyne this season, though. I'd say.
No,
When you look at when they've played, Odegaard hasn't
Yeah,
offered much
I
for
agree with you
Arsenal.
on that.
You've put De Bruyne higher than Odegaard.
But yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
De Bruyne has been better than Odegaard this season. De Bruyne was better than Odegaard last season as well, and pretty much all the seasons before
You
that.
last
confusing me.
season.
This season,
Odegaard was better than De Bruyne last season.
Shall we move on? Has everyone said their number 3?
Season.
He got,
Yeah.
he got, he got,
Right,
got
number
plenty
two.
of goals in the
Should we just do 2-1? Because
okay, yeah. Should we go say our second and first? Do you want to start then? Because you suggested it. Go on.
okay, cool.
Has everyone only got 2 names, like the 2 names left?
Sure.
Yes.
Everyone's
Yeah.
surely got the same two.
I'd hope so. So this has changed literally in the last couple of weeks because one of them has stopped performing at the level he was, and one of them has picked it up a lot higher. 2 Palmer, 1 Bruno Fernandes.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
Order, you guys got it.
2 Palmer, 1 Bruno Fernandes.
2 Bruno Fernandes, 1 Cole Palmer.
I expect that. I expect that
I
from
need
you,
to
though.
remember which
I
way I
expect that
put
from you.
I put 2 Palmer, 1 Bruno Fernandes.
Wow.
Because if you look,
I'm Bruno Fernandes'
Again,
big hater. by the way.
again, 3 weeks ago.
I do not like that guy.
But it's also the fact that this is Palmer's second season doing it for a long time. Fernandes has been at this level for a
But
while.
that's not Palmer's fault.
I still think Palmer's
I
had
know,
a great
I
know,
season.
he's
I
young,
don't
I
know
know
why
he's
people
young.
think he's fallen off
thing
a
is,
cliff.
right, we're acting like he has. He's still the second best creator in the league. But if you look at, he was scoring and assisting every game for the last year and a half,
Palmer's
and
still
then
got
recently
14 goals.
he's
Exactly.
last 10, 15 games he's just stopped.
My argument is
I
though,
don't understand
what if
how,
he does
why.
this every season? He falls off at the end of the season. He's never going to be considered that amazing player because the final part of the season is where you need to be good.
Right.
Because
He's
you
a big
have-
guy. You
if
can't
you're-
say
if
Palmer's
you're-
not a big
if
guy.
you're in-
Nah,
if
come
you're in
on.
front- No, he is. But you need to be good at the end of the season. He's dropped off massively.
I don't want to bring
I think
goals
that's
and
just a
assists.
coincidence thing, really.
He's only got 2
I
goals
think-
and 1 assist since January.
I don't want to bring in goals
Yeah,
and
he's
assist numbers, but in a year and a half in the Premier League since Palmer's joined Chelsea, he's got 54. That's 19
Yeah.
more than Bruno Fernandes. And I know Bruno's been playing a bit deeper, but for me, the numbers that Palmer's been putting up have been absolutely sensational. You take
No,
him
I
out.
know.
You take him out of
It's very
Chelsea,
tight for
they
me.
absolutely crumble. And
It
I know
is
it's probably the same.
incredibly
but
tight.
Same Man
Right,
United.
but then again, they've had Ahmad at times this season who's stepped up. I know he's injured now, but with Chelsea, the drop off without
That's against
Palmer in the
Leicester.
team
And?
is unbelievable. Like
No, I
Palmer's
think it's
not
the
in
same
there.
with
I do agree
They
with
don't
you
create
because
anything
I
at
think
all.
I don't know about you two, but I think this is probably the closest gap out of any of these on the list. Because
No, I
Yeah.
saw so many players on
because
this
those,
list.
those 2 players this season have been so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, Bruno Fernandes is the only player in this team who I have any faith in anymore. And my soul and spirit has been crushed. And he's the only thing where I look at him and I go, at least you're scoring and getting assists. And like people question Bruno Fernandes' attitude. And it really pisses me off.
I think it's poor.
Because he whilst I agree that he needs to stop diving and he's a bit of a diva, he has got more passion in his little finger than the rest of that squad put together.
I think
He
mentality and
cares-
attitude are 2 different things.
That's
though.
the thing. Yeah, his mentality,
I agree with that.
ridiculous. I'm happy you used that word actually because I didn't.
I think
of
his
that.
attitude's poor.
The way he throws himself to the floor, he shouldn't have the pressure of being captain. That shouldn't have gone to him. That was not his role to be. He's a great vice captain who leads by performance and by example and being passionate on the pitch. You need an actual captain. That's a whole different,
He's not a captain.
whole different story. But the only player never stops running, never stops scoring, never stops getting assists. Always in there, our most key and vital player by a long shot, and he needs more support. If you put Harry Kane or Benzema or Osimhen or some actual striker who knows how to put the ball in the fucking net in front of him, he gets 30 assists a season. Genuinely, you put a proper striker in there, 30 assists a season.
I think you've hurt Lenny's ears.
Sorry, Lenny. Sorry, I get very upset when I talk about our striker situation.
Right, well-
and if I'm right, I will never admit it, but if you look at Palmer, he is sat in front of Nicholas Jackson, and I will never admit it, but he's not terrible. Neto, Madueke,
Neto's not been
Sancho.
good this season at all.
Yeah, he's been
Same
poor.
with Sancho.
Who else have been playing
He's
on
good
those
against
one
Spurs,
areas?
though.
Yeah, I mean,
Kunku, like
Kunku, no.
their forwards are better than ours.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
As a
but their,
group.
Yeah,
their
but
forwards
it's-
still ain't great.
They're both rubbish.
They've not performed.
I think that's probably a good place to leave this podcast.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for watching this episode of The Red Show. Let us know if you agree with our list or if you'd have anyone in any different places, and we will see you in the next one.